you a game of tennis.
Come on, Grandma.
Okay, I'll get my racket. On second thought, I think I better sit this one out.
You crapped your pants again, didn't you?
I just don't feel confident.
Look at this, Jack. Here we are. It's oops, I crapped my pants. You see, it's got a big pad. Unlike my DOJ, these don't leak.
Hey, how do you know so much about oops, I crap my pants?
I'm wearing them, and I just did.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. So we are all aware that Joe Biden has dementia, and if you need further proof of that, well, take this as exhibit 479,472. Ashley Biden, his daughter, having to effectively hold his hand as he leaves a restaurant and carry him doddering and shuffling over to a vehicle. This happened in New York. This is the same Ashley Biden that wrote in her diary that her dad forced her to shower with him when she was of age. I've always been boy crazy, hypersexualized at a young age, and remember somewhere being sexualized with a family member. I remember having S with friends, young age, and showers with my dad. Probably not appropriate. That's what Ashley Biden wrote in her diary, and she has confirmed on camera that that's her real diary. So maybe someone should be asking questions about Joe Biden and his relationship with his daughter, along with looking at these creepy images of her having to hold his hand as he walks down a flight of stairs. So here's Ashley Biden, here is Joe Biden holding hands together as he goes down a flight of stairs. Now, I was with my parents all weekend because I just welcomed into the world my third child, and I never once held my dad's hand. I did, however, hold the hand of my grandmother when she was in her 80s, when she was suffering from Parkinson's and was suffering from cancer. So what does this say? I mean, these are the kind of like instinctual things that children do with their parents when they know their parents are in the late stages of life. You don't hold the hands of your father or your mother as they go down a flight of stairs unless you don't believe that they'll make it. That's what's going on here. Joe Biden's arrival in New York City caused traffic chaos Sunday night as he took his family out to dinner at a swanky Italian restaurant frequented by celebs. The president's Air Force One touched down at JFK. He's there ahead of the UN General Assembly. LOL. Shouldn't even have a United Nations. We should disband it. But the first stop was Cantori, where he enjoyed a meal with several relatives, toasting his granddaughter's 23rd birthday. First Lady Jill Biden and their daughter Ashley Biden were spotted at the family outing, although Finnegan's father, Hunter Biden, who faces federal charges over his purchase of a gun, was not pictured. Biden's downtown trip snarled up traffic, but this is what we want to focus on here. Because this sort of demonstrates, you can sort of see in like the actions of a daughter with her father, exactly how decayed and how declined Joe Biden is. Speaking of decay, a whopping 72% of Americans say that Joe Biden is not healthy enough to be president, and only 59% feel that the same way about Donald Trump. That leads to charts like this one. Physically healthy enough to serve as president. Only Donald Trump, 43%. Only Joe Biden, 16%. Boom. Boom. And then there's 29% people say neither of them, because they're both pushing. Joe Biden is 80 and Donald Trump is on his way to 80. But Donald Trump's a very, very different 80. Donald Trump's a very, very different, built different, as he said in a recent interview. Donald Trump asked in a recent interview if he viewed himself on the same playing field as Joe Biden mentally and physically. Watch.
Say to people who say it is time for a new generation of leaders.
Well, it's always time for a new generation. But, you know, some of the greatest world leaders have been in their 80s. I'm not anywhere very near 80, by the way.
You will be in your 80s if you're reelected. Does that concern you at all?
Well, I will be toward the end. Mm-hmm. No, because my father lived much longer than that. My mother lived much longer than that. So genetically, that's a good thing.
He's only 3 years younger than Joe Biden, and yet there is this public perception. Let's look at this poll from CBS News. Is a candidate's health, or rather, which candidate is physically healthy enough to serve as president? Voters overwhelmingly saying that only Donald Trump is, by a pretty sizable margin. There's a stubborn
Just an unbelievable poll there. 43%. You're not fooling anyone. You're not fooling anyone. They know that this is what Joe Biden looks like every time he doesn't have direction, right? This is just clear signs of early onset dementia. This is clear signs of somebody who is cognitively impaired. There, Joe Biden looks like he's about to jump off the stage. His family knows this, right? His family knows. They have a tell. The tell is that you grab the hand of the beleaguered person. You grab the hand of the infirmed person and you help them along. It is human nature. This is what happens when Joe Biden doesn't have the assistance. Cringe Jean-Pierre, for her part, said 80 is the new 40, didn't you hear? When asked how old and decrepit Joe Biden is, but they're not fooling the American people. Even Chuck Todd on Meet the Press, in his last Meet the Press episode, just absolutely bodies Biden. Says the vast majority of voters in their poll want him to retire for good.
A good Sunday morning to all of you. We are less than 3 months before the midterms, and our brand new NBC News poll paints a pretty bleak picture. Americans are angry, they're disappointed, and they are worried about the future of this country. Just 21% of adults say we are heading in the right direction, and once again, 3 out of 4 Americans say we are on the wrong track. In fact, this number, never before in our poll, has this wrong track number been over 70% for this long. It's been nearly a year now. 58%, by the way, say America's best years are behind us. That's an all-time high in our poll.
Okay. So maybe we should read into this image. Again, this is an image that, no matter how creepy the relationship is between Joe Biden and his daughter, and it is very, very creepy in her own words, shocking sexual allegations emerging from Ashley Biden's diary, which she has confirmed, showers with my father and dad, probably not appropriate. Nonetheless, I'm not undergirding that Ashley Biden probably loves her father, and she, in spite of everything, maybe she shouldn't. And that this is simply a demonstration of exactly how utterly decrepit Biden is. She actually cares about her decrepit father and must hold his hand as he goes down the stairs because she knows what will happen if she doesn't. She knows that Joe Biden will collapse. One of our favorite on-TV doctors, Mark Siegel, before the greatest TV show in cable news history, Tucker Carlson, was canceled because Fox cucked out. Mark Siegel diagnosed Joe Biden and his cognitive decline, talking specifically about his gait and how he cannot walk anymore and what that really means, the dark truth behind it.
Now I look over the physical results, the physical exam results of President Biden. And at first, I was overjoyed because it's long. Dr. O'Connor gives a tremendous detail. But when I looked closer, I saw some things that bothered me. One, no cognitive exam done, not even a mini mental status exam where we simply ask a few questions of the president or of any patient. Number two.
Wait, I'm sorry. May I interrupt you, doctor? I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt. I didn't know that. Is that normal that you wouldn't even include a cognitive assessment?
It is not usual when you do that extensive an examination. It should be automatic. I don't do it on every patient that comes in with a sore throat, but with extensive physical, it should be automatic. It's not there. Number two is the issue of his gait, Tucker, where they flat out say that his gait over the past year has changed. He's stiff-legged now. He doesn't have fluidity in his gait. And they brought in a bunch of orthopedists and neurologists who say it's due to arthritis in his spine and a broken foot, which we still don't know how he fell to a bicycle accident. But here's what's missing there, Tucker. No MRI of the brain, no MRI of the spines, upper or lower, no EMG nerve conduction studies. When you have a sudden change of gait, you wonder, is it tied in with cognitive function?
Right.
Is there fluid on the brain? Is it something with the spine? There's so many things that can cause that I would want to know about. To leave that out altogether, very concerning.